we'll just give a minute or so for people to roll in here, and then we'll get the stream started. This is going to be a particularly fun one for you guys. So um, I'm very curious. You guys can already jump in. You'll find links to it in VC text to the room that we are joining here. If you click a Kinky's link here, you can join the Midjourney room, and the password is gnarly. Um, that is the way that we're going to be collaborating today. It is feel free to shoot over all sorts of stuff that you guys are working on in there. Just because we have it themed for Fantasy Friday for today, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be, but we are going to be doing some pretty fun fantasy related stuff today. Um, Gearing up, gearing up for what's to come. Um, I'm also very curious to dig into all the fan contributions we've had over this week because there is a lot. This is a particularly heavy
Oh yeah.
contribution. There's going to be plenty to go through from everyone's homework, I guess. Um, let's see here. I do need to recalibrate my screen really quick because, yeah, there you go. Because I was definitely bobbing around there a little bit. Okay, sweet. And I finally have a smoothie again, a coffee smoothie, but I'm a little upset because they put kale in it. They put kale in my smoothie, my coffee smoothie. It's a weird combo. It doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds very earthy.
It's very
Yeah.
earthy. Yeah, it's unfortunately earthy, and they use like a banana protein that makes it smooth. So it's earthy, smooth, and coffee.
Oh no.
It's not the greatest combo.
I mean, it sounds like it would keep you awake for a long time, no?
It is. That's the intention. And they threw a caffeine capsule in there for my headaches, so that's perfect. Um,
Yep, a capsaicin capsule. So you burn from the inside.
oh God, someone's already prompting kale coffee. I'm glad that it just gives it like a plate on it as opposed to like in it, because even Midjourney knows that these two things don't belong with each other. So it's just like let's just put it to the side.
Yeah. It's a nice garnish.
Kale in coffee. Ooh.
Oh no.
The rebeagling.
Rebeagling.
The rebeagling. Yes. I am curious as we start exploring because we're going to be doing a lot of stuff related to OREF and mood boards and stuff as we gear up. But the key thing is that you can also use version 6.1 and EG6 to do what we're doing today. So just because we might be leaning on any particular workflow, please don't feel like you have to follow exactly what we're doing. But it is something where whatever we end up making and however which way we end up making it, we will certainly be OREFing it for what we are going to be doing after that. So uh, legal guy yelling at his coffee. Who put kale in my coffee? Yes, exactly. And whenever I see this kind of thing where I'm like, oh, I like the prompt, it just doesn't have my character in it, I'll just go to my library of things that are in here, and then I'll find Victor in there. So like this one here, and let's see here, and it'll just come up as an image prompt at first, but I almost always just slide them over to OmniReference, and then I'll set it a little higher than default. I'll do like 150 this time, and that usually gives us a good amount of recognition or resemblance to the character, but also and holding on to all the intent or behind Midjourney's like interpretation of the prompt. So um, the omni-referencing replaces character referencing for version 7, so it essentially treats everything as an object. It's an an absolute objectifier. It does a great job kind of mixing and matching whatever it sees in the image and turning it into something that is what you want. So if it sees a person, it treats it like a person. If it sees a cup of coffee, it treats it like a cup of coffee. That kind of thing. Um, and you can see here that its interpretation of that is, who put kale in my coffee? Who put kale in my coffee? The kid's just an actual kale growing out of a plant, a cup there. And the one thing that version 7 is somewhat notorious at this point for is that it can feel like a downgrade when it comes to text, but just know that that's why you can always go back to version 6.1 and Niji 6 in order to redo the text however you need. So it is something that I would recommend just not doing text at all. But obviously with certain things like this, whenever you put the quotes and stuff, it's going to try to put the letters in there anyway. So I usually just go in and superimpose it later. I'll sometimes even prompt with version 6.1 and then use the layers function to just overlap things if I don't feel like using Photoshop. Okay, all right. So it's we got a little bit of a quiet start here, but I'm excited to dig into what we are going to be playing with next, which is all of our fantasy prompts. But I'm joined here with Rhapsody. She'll be doing a lot of stuff here today when it comes to the stuff we have planned. And we also have Kinky and Ancient as well here. Thank you guys all for joining.
Hello.
All right, so
Hello.
awesome. So we can see here that we already have a couple of things coming up from our homework that was sent in. We have the growing vines, I believe, from Bert, but I'll be digging in and seeing what goes on with that. So. Okay. Well, Rhapsody, do you want to give an intro, or how do you want to start this?
Well, I don't know. We had a homework to review.
That is true.
And so I guess we're just gonna look into this. I gave the homework last week in the after show to everybody to collect the evil guys of Phantasma, the bad ones, and create threats and enemies and armies of undead and whatnot. So we could have a fun time battling against all of these. And people went ahead and did exactly that. Victor has it already open, I see.
Yeah. I
Did you have a look at this already?
I did dabble into a couple of these. I couldn't get through all of them. There's just so many of them, honestly.
Yeah, there's such amazing stuff, and it will be important to have a look at these. So we're gonna start with that. For me personally, what knocked it out of the park was a Troll for Use entry, which is a little bit down below. I'm just mentioning this like up front because it's what he has created is absolutely stunning. Like.
Oh wow, yeah.
Oh my god.
I didn't even look at these.
Is there more?
It's
Is there more? I did not. What's this? What's this you're looking at?
I am looking at the Chrome Caverns submission.
Oh yeah. Canom. Yeah.
And there's even some video that's been included, which is awesome. And I do like the drawn, the more fantasy drawn style, where it feels more like you're opening up a sketchbook and you're seeing this like color pencil bonanza in these cavernous spaces, which is really cool. It's really cool how it's like choosing where to make the more isolated, darker parts to illustrate that it's still underground. But then as soon as you get into the full color stuff you got up here, this is just great. Awesome work, I troll for you. Really cool. I really do dig, but wow, this instrument is just killer.
That is super cool.
I love that. And we even have the dark elf to accompany it. I imagine it's a dark elf character of some sort. I have to properly read this submission from Fungi Mancer here, but I'm loving it. It's really the instrument especially is super cool.
Yeah.
So just so anyone who is new here, we do have a server called the Gnarly Studios server. You're welcome to join it. You can find links to it inside of VC text here. Kinky's going to be sharing it throughout the stream, so feel free to click that join button right there and you'll be able to submit your characters for not just the streams, but also comics and videos and everything else that we'll be getting into with this stream. Our goal is to create a original series, so it's at least not just one, but as many as that we can muster, using whatever tools we have available to us. So you'll find that it's a very inclusive and fun community where you can just come in, share your ideas, share your characters, and see other people use your characters in ways that you didn't expect. And the way you do that is really, really straightforward. You're just going to join the server and click on the character portal right here. And this is where you can submit new characters. We literally just got one 11 minutes ago from Fungi Mancer. And I'll just show you what that process looks like here. So I have a character that my friend actually has here, so I'm going to submit them. I actually don't have a name for them here, but it is a really fun blinded cleric character with a black halo on his head. So I will be occasionally dipping into this character throughout the stream, but it's going to be one that I just kind of throw in there for fun every once in a while. But I'm curious actually from the group here, from anyone that is in chat. Can you give me name suggestions for this character? Like I said, he is a blind cleric. His glasses that he's wearing, we were kind of thinking of the joke being that when he takes off his glasses, he doesn't actually have eyeballs behind them. It's just this arguably like a magic or something that helps him see through the glasses, like enchanting spectacles kind of a thing. But the joke is that almost everything with clerics is that they read books and do magical spells through them and whatnot, and he's can't read. He can't read because he can't see the words on the page. What do you think it Raps?
I mean, I had this long idea that magical books are whispering to you anyways in Phantasma. Like,
there you go.
They never stay quiet for long, so
that's perfect.
It's not that big of a problem.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I think that it's one of the things where, it's either going to be that there's a random element of chance, like he effectively randomizes whatever he's going to do from the books, right, that he reads, or or it's just simply that there is a magical reason that he can still use the trade inside of the books. But I wanted to see from you guys if you guys had any name suggestions for this character. Let's see. We have Ray Wonder, Terry, Belor, Terrence. Terry. Okay, so I see Terry for short for Terrence. I see. There's Sir and Sir, but the Phantasma version. Oh yeah, I like that. Jordy is funny.
Jordy is very funny.
Yeah, I do like Jordy from Star Trek a lot, so that would be funny. We get you know what, I'll do that. Baylor is fun. I do like Baylor. Rupert's pretty cool. I think that I think for this, let's just go with Jordy with 2 E's for now, but I'm just gonna name him this. We can always change the name, so if you guys feel like you're not like too committed to what you're doing, you just want to get a submission up there and not think too much about it, you can either do what like I troll for you did, just say give me a name suggestion in your submission, or you can just name it something temporary and then rename the actual post itself. So like if I go to one of my posts here, like Vic Verman's post here, I can actually right click on it and hit edit post and change Vic's name at any time. So definitely keep in mind it's not like a hard lock kind of thing, but I do have one result that I'm going to include with this, and let's see here. Nah, I'm not going to worry about it. The thing is that the whole no eye thing is going to be incredibly hard to keep consistent with any character. So it's one of those things that I have the expectation of probably doing some post work when it comes to this character in particular. But I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to include another picture just as another reference point for this. So if we need, it will include the stick and such. So we may change them up as we keep going with today's class. So to submit the character, you just hit post, and oops, an error occurred. Why did an error occur? Come on. Okay, let me select fantasy, and this is a character design post. There we go. That was why, because I forgot to set a tag for this character. But now they are in the character portal, and everything that we make with this character that we like are going to be submitted here. And then anyone who's following that will be able to get dings whenever, especially the person who made it. So it's a really fun way to collaborate and make stuff together. So, all right. Otherwise, plenty of other stuff to check out inside of Gnarly Studios, but we will do that at another time. Yeah,
And we will reference it multiple times today.
oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, all right. We are in the Fantasy Friday room in what is it, on the Midjourney website. Feel free to come in here and start prompting stuff. Just like we had with the character here, I can easily grab this image here as our reference. So I'm going to hit image address on here. I'm just going to paste this into the Midjourney bar here in the Fantasy Friday room. And we do recommend a couple of profiles, but you're welcome to use whatever you like. We have what we call the Phantasmal World Builder, which is mostly going to get you a. Oops, I clicked the wrong button there. My bad. Hold on. There we go. Drag that back there. Boom, boom. Yeah, we have the Fantasy World Builder, and then we also have a generic kind of like Phantasma profile that just includes all of our comics and a bunch of all of our favorite generated stuff from the fantasy world. So definitely recommend those two profiles if you just want to get something is going to be cool for what we're doing today. But you don't have to. You can use whatever tools you want to use for this. But I just submit the character.
It's kind of important in the beginning to use the same things, but we're going to get there.
Yeah, for sure. And I tend to just go with animated fantasy film to give myself something to start with, but we are going in a completely different direction today, and I'm excited to have Rhapsody to be able to guide us today through everything related to how do you want to describe this exactly? How do you want to describe what this whole process is going to be?
Well, today we're gonna build some heroes and some, I would say, some enemies if you want to. And their armies, their forces, and then we let them face off against each other. So this will be exciting. But instead of doing it the way we did before, we're gonna do a specific type of OREFing, which gives us like a huge amount of control in how we design our characters, and that's what I'm excited the most about, because from creating a hero we are able to extrapolate an army later and then let that army do things. So that's the lesson for today. If you want me to get started, I'm going to read something really quick.
Please do. Please do.
Please do, just to get us all in the right mood. And because I got some questions over the week, what happened that Phantasma is suddenly attacked by 1 million armies? So we have some backstory here. I'm going to go big for this. In the dawning mists of Phantasma's history, there lay a slumbering power, an ancient shard of magic whose origins were forgotten even by the eldest seers. For centuries it slept beneath wind-swept plains and crystalline spires, hidden from mortal eyes and locked in silence. Yet when the stars aligned and whispered secrets to the night, that shard stirred, unleashing a pulse of eldritch light that rippled through every vale and mountain. From that hidden heart of power, a resonance spread like ripples upon a lake, touching every shadowed corner of the realm. It awakened the cruel and the cunning, long-banished specters, twisted things of fang and flame, and nameless horrors that had lain bound by rune and oath. One by one, these dark spirits felt the summons, and rose from crypt and hollow with dreadful purpose. Now Phantasma stands at a threshold. The old songs speak of heroes who, in such an age, must cast aside comfort and hearth, seize blade and spell, and journey into the widening gloom. Though the path ahead winds through forests haunted by wailing winds, across battlefields haunted by whispers of regret, and into realms where even light trembles, the flame of hope endures. It glows within hearts unbowed and minds untroubled by despair. So listen then to the stirring of that ancient song. Hear the promise it whispers in your very blood, that in unity, bound by courage, compassion, and unyielding resolve, heroes may yet stand against the tide of darkness. Tonight, as you gather beneath these vaulted rafters, the fate of Phantasma's age of light hangs in the balance. Take up the mantle of legend. Let your courage be the beacon that guides every wandering soul through the night.
Woo!
And that is what we're gonna do today.
Yeah! Awesome!
Woo!
Thank you for getting that intro done. That is awesome, and we're gonna have a lot of fun here today when it comes to just diving into what it means to to create something bigger than just one character, one fun image that you've made. We're going to essentially start to do some of the larger world building for the fantasy series with this stream. So, uh, in terms of the exact order of that, I'm going to leave it to Rhapsody to kind of dig us into the details. But essentially, what we're going to be doing is arming and figuring out what sort of outfits and clothing that our characters are going to be wearing, what sort of weapons we're going to need to fight off these villains that are approaching the city.
Yeah. So,
Go
do you
ahead.
want me to take over the screen?
Please
then
do.
Just yes. All right. Let's do this. I just need to find the correct button. Boom. Yeah, that's it. That worked. I'm in control now. That's the first evil thing we did today. I'm in control now. Everybody is doomed. So, what we are going to do today is, if I'm just gonna go in Discord really quick here and have a look at the villains of Phantasma, we're gonna have a look at these villains. And I want all of you to really have a look at these and decide for something that you want to fight against. My personal favorite, by the way, I looked like through these. This thing is terrific. I love it.
That's terrifying,
It's
honestly.
an evil tree. It's super terrifying. It reminds me so much about like the Reapers from Mass Effect, but just as a tree. It's crazy, but really all of these are like this giant skeleton, and what do we have? Not like here undead armies, of course, and we know this guy. I just forget his name all the time, but it's up here. Veradros, the awakened mummy.
Ancient described
But
the
we got
first one
much
as
more.
Trevel, by the way.
Yeah, we need an extra entry just for this thing. I just like I see this as the main enemy to a tribe of elves or something. Like we have the enchanted forest in Phantasma, where and the inner circle of the enchanted forest is like a really dark place with twisted magic and statues of olden times and all kinds of evil things. And I imagine like the forest of the elves like being directly next to it, and they're just constantly fighting the evil that is trying to spread out of the inner circle of the enchanted forest. Maybe they are even on the outside. We didn't decide on that yet, but we also don't have like a real elven tribe yet, which we might change soon. Then we have Bert's army of monsters and insects here, which is crazy. Like there's these huge things, and then there's also like a lot of smaller things. And I want you to be inspired by these enemies right now and think about how would you fight against them. How would you like defeat them? What would your army and your soldiers look like if you were to fight against all of these villains? What do we have? What else do we have? We have disco snakes, which I also love because they are just gigantic, colorful snakes, which are directly connected to a place, the Tan Sea, a desert biome created by Legal Beagle, which we have also linked in here. And as you can see right now, these connections between places and creatures and enemies and tribes and cities and that is building on the server within the character portal and our lodges down here. All of that is coming together, and it's time now to connect them even more, and that's the main thing we're gonna do. Gompasta has also some last minute additions. I don't know why Mira is here. Is she an evil mage? I don't know. Maybe she's a hero. No, she's a villain. She's marked as a villain.
Yeah, I do find it funny to have such a cutesy little thing be the villain. Yeah, like I do like the idea of just something that is adorably bubble being a villain. I'm sure with a very low level of danger, but it is something that I do find if she aspires to be the world's most evil villain, but she's this cute little thing that keeps making clumsy mistakes, I would adore that character.
Yeah, and then we have also Nettle the witch, which is not just a witch, I guess, but nonetheless. And yeah, and we're gonna design some heroes or some equipment against these things. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take some thing that I created like a long time ago on stream. These elves, and I'm gonna equip these. But we're gonna create a character first, a hero, a leader to our armies. And now that the call has rung across Phantasma, that all the evils have awakened, we need to do one thing. We need to go shopping. And that's my first quest for you today. I want, like, who do we have here? Who is actively here? Say hey in chat. Who is here to prompt? Who wants to join us on this quest now? I see Gompasta, I see a troll for you. I see Drolnak. I hope you're all already inside of... Wow, there's so many trees coming up. Shopping. Yes, shopping. We're going to do some shopping now, Legal Beagle. I'm just grabbing a prompt here really quick that I'm going to share in VC Create and also in the room for you guys. We're going to need some equipment first. So the first task for today for everybody is to become treat shopping is also fine, is to become a shopkeeper. I'm just gonna post this here. I have this neat little prompt, an RPG game equipment screen with items displayed, character inventory, in this case cleric armor pieces, and if I just run this, I'm just gonna use the same prompt and exchange this for swords and daggers on a display. And we let this run. You will see shopkeeper. I sell axes and axe accessories. I guess, Ancient, do you want to sell these today? Because I want everybody to become a shopkeeper really quickly. I'm going to give everybody of you a piece of equipment, and all of you are going to produce us displays of your fine wares. What you see here in this prompt is that we get a really nice display of different things. We have cleric armor pieces here right now, so we get some holy armor and shields, some books, some tunics and bags and trinkets, maybe even some full size armor and stuff. And this prompt is very versatile. So where I prompted swords, we get a bunch of swords. We get a lot of swords. And I want each and every one of you to copy this prompt and modify it and do something else. I'm going to put... I think I'm going to put... Gompasta as the shopkeeper. You're going to do some axes for us. I troll for you. I want you to design magic stuff, magic staffs, and so on. Is somebody here who feels like that they could do amazing pieces of armor and leatherware and I don't know, like some ranger stuff and some cleric stuff and some mage stuff? Who wants to do two armors? If you feel up to that, just start it, I guess. And we need all kinds of things. So you can design trinkets and magical totems and daggers and bows and whatnot. So we need definitely some archery too. Who wants to do archery? I see a troll for you said check. A troll for you is gonna do some general bones and tribe weapons. That's nice. An axe made of tiny axes, which is also cool. Legal Beagle is doing bread and buns. That's not what we need today, Legal Beagle. Queen Lux is doing archery. Okay, go on. Prompt here. Prompt in the room. We need this. We need lots and lots of equipment for our heroes.
All the baguettes. I do want to mention too that I was able to while you were getting started with all this, I was able to put one of the villains in front of Jordy almost immediately. So like he doesn't have his weapons, he doesn't have the right equipment to fight the tree monsters, but if you scroll up a bit, Rhapsody, you'll see the result that I'm talking about here. It is just a bit higher. A little higher than that.
There's more tree monsters.
A little. Yeah, there you go. The little more down, the one that I posted there. Yeah, check out.
Oh, here.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. It's just so
Watching
cool.
Evil trees approaching the castle walls.
Yeah, look at the cat.
This is an image. Yeah.
I love that you see the castle in the background.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. And Archer said, will the baguette? Come on. I mean, if you really want to fight with a piece of bread, you can try to. But we need to go shopping. We need more equipment. Gompasta is making amazing axes. I'm not seeing many magic staffs and stuff and trinkets and stones. We're going to need those.
Okay. Let me prompt a couple of those.
Yeah. And clothing. We need lots of clothing and armor. Oh, Drollneck is elvish leather armors on mannequins. This is cool. You're doing amazing stuff. And yes, you see, I'm letting you do all the work right now because I'm lazy. And I just wanted to try if you all follow through. This is interesting. What changed here? Oh, you're using version 6.1 here. So that's why we get this influx of realism, even though we have the style reference here. Which is, by the way, a very interesting style reference because it has cutouts. Which are ignored.
Yeah, no. And that is a byproduct of working with the InPainter and just pulling out. It doesn't really matter that those pieces are cut out.
Feathers and gems and amazing stuff. This is cool. I'm just gonna take my elves. Where's my elves? And just save them really quick. So. Later. Okay, we got amazing cool stuff. I encourage every one of you, when you're finished, when you think you have produced enough wares, to also pick a character you want to go forward with, to start your journey with. You can also prompt them later. Just keep it in mind, and I will show you what we're going to do today in a second. What do we have? Yes, magic staffs. This is cool. Ooh, Ooh, compasta. That's an extra taste. It looks like it's enchanted with water magic.
Oh, are you doing the knolling
Okay,
prompt
we have
there,
some.
Legal Beagle? Knolling, by the way, is a trend within like hiking communities and stuff online that where they show off all the stuff that they bring to their camping trips. And
Yeah.
I don't know why it's called knolling, but it's the act of showing all that stuff off on a flat surface so that you can like catalog what you have. So it's a really interesting prompt to use for stuff like this. It's a good one to bring up. Thanks for making that one.
Yeah. Maybe add the word into your shopkeeper's display. Oh, we're getting so many cool things here. What do we have here? Wizards. Wizard equipment, books and stuff, and bread, and lots of bread, and armor. I like these. These look cool. And bows.
Yeah, I like Drolidax ones. They're pretty cool. It has a really nice 3D render to it. It almost reminds me of like when you go to a historical museum and they have the backdrop painted, and they just have like the museum pieces on display. Yeah, that's really cool.
Okay, I see we have a slight problem with bows. Long bows with intricate designs engraved with crimson red rules. Ah. I mean, Midjourney always had a problem generating these. Well, we can try. Let's see what happens if we take that same prompt. Where did it go? Here. Use this. Oh, screen items display character longbows with intricate designs and graphic crimson red rules. Shelves with longbows. Their strings are attached. Multiple longbows and crossbows. One shot.
Yeah,
Let's have a look if that helps.
I did
Describing it a little bit more.
I did the same thing. I was like, all right, crossbows and
Oh, yeah.
other bows would assist in describing um, what I'm looking for there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, look. These are nice.
It turned one of them into all swords.
Oh,
Look, they're all swords though.
oh wow.
There's
These are
some.
cool swords.
They're like Christmas. They're like Santa stockings.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm gonna rerun this a little bit. We got axes, we got stuff. This is cool. Okay. I think we have enough to pick some equipment. So now we want to create some armies. We want to create some heroes. We want to outfit our characters. Now, imagine your hero. Imagine your enemy that you're going against, and imagine your hero. Soldiers usually have some kind of uniform, right? And we want to be able to pick these. What I'm missing right now is a little bit of like more clothing. We have a lot of these red kind of armors, but I'm looking for more cloaks and different kinds of like adventurous gear like this. This is really good. Let's add this prompt. Fantasy of elvish red and gold elvish leather armors on wooden mannequins. And let's go to version 7 that has also a different set of profiles here. I'm just going to replace this with our 2 profiles and let it run, because that's the most important part. What to do in the lobby? I get error. Error, please help. There's some problems with joining lobbies sometimes, Andreas. I don't know exactly what's going on your side.
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't been able to get anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
usually
do we have
closing
here?
Discord is the way to go on that one. But yeah, this one was
Yeah.
Archer loading their bow with colorful arrows, and I figured that having like a choice of different kind of arrows and types would be kind of interesting. So I remixed off of yes, Fungi Mancer's prompt up there.
I wonder why we get like these 3D kind of looks here. Only when we like describe armors and stuff. I'm gonna have a look really quick in my history for a second, just to have a look when I prompted things. Oh, I just used this RPG scene, character inventory. What else did I do? Shields. Yes, shields are good. And stuff. Boots. We need boots. Somebody prompt some boots. We will need some boots.
On it.
Yeah, here. That's the prompt that I want. When I troll for use, designing us some armor here. Cool, cool, cool. Where's my prompt here? I want to use this prompt with this, and this. I'm just gonna do it a bunch more times. So, we got a lot of stuff now. And now we're gonna picking exactly what we want for our heroes. So, I've already told you guys I'm gonna use my elves here. And I want to give them some new equipment. And I want to fight them. Let's have a look. What is their enemy for tonight? I mean, these giant trees are amazing. I would probably need some. What do they need? They need to be nimble, because I cannot imagine this thing to be very fast. Although if it would be fast, it would be really deadly.
It is something, nothing like a sledgehammer or anything that's like blunt force is going to work on something like that. It's definitely going to be tree chopping stuff, or things that might get it sick, maybe. But yeah,
axes, some magic staffs who cast fireballs and things, maybe some magic cannons. If somebody wants to design some magic cannons powered by crystals, that would be also very cool.
No modern weapons, cool. No modern weapons, please. But definitely, you could do a hand cannon that's powered by a crystal or something like that. Something like that would be fun.
Yeah.
I always find stuff. I do always find it funny when people include things like blunderbusses and stuff, like antiquated guns, but no, nothing like that. No firearms in that sense. I would much rather go for a fantasy logic behind instead of chemical reactions, magic reactions.
Yeah. Oh, look at these boots. These are nice. I want these.
There's a lot of fun clothes.
I will use these. Yeah, I'm just gonna save them. By the way, if you see me dragging stuff into my prompt shop, that's a Chrome browser extension I programmed, and I can give you the link if anybody is interested. I also posted it on our server. It just lets me quickly save some prompts here and keep them for and some images and keep them for later. I'm going to use that a little bit. And now I'm just going to go through this. I'm going to pick the outfit for my rangers, because we have these amazing things here. This is cool.
I love Alistair's suggestion really of a catapult. By the way, I'm gonna do that right now. I'm definitely gonna start getting random small catapults and things. Catapult store, your catapult fantasy superstore.
So I got some boots, and now I'm gonna go shopping. And let's see. I like these golden things. And what are these swords? Oh my god, these are huge swords. Like if you it could be a shield, but if you draw this, if this is just like the sheath of the sword, it's gigantic. These are also cool. Let's go through this. That's definitely too heavy for my forces. This could work. This could work. I would like this in red. Could change this, but I can only buy what's in store. Here we have some nice things. I will need some bow and arrows. This is good. I think this is a good uniform in general. It's very simple. I'm gonna edit this and just zoom a bit out, just so that we have a bit more visuals on this uniform. I'm gonna remove version 7 here. Just send this a few times. Oh, what else do we have here? I want them to wear a bow. Oh, I want one of these swords. These weird, strange swords here. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna upscale one of them. Maybe do 2 creative upscales. And here we have a lot of swords, but I want an axe. Am I still in the room? I'm not in the room anymore, that's the problem. Oh, I see your catapults and gigantic crystals and people flame throwing the trees already. This is cool. This is very cool. Where did the axes go? I want to start with an axe. Oh, here we have some equipment. Oh, these swords are also cool. I like this bow in particular. Although it makes no sense. Absolutely 0 sense.
As a professional bowman.
Oh, here is cool axes. Here are the cool axes. Oh, and these armors, those are also very, very nice. But I'm gonna start with an axe. This is the problem of shopping, right? You suddenly have decisions to make, but I like this one. I'm just gonna take this. I'm gonna save this. We have boots, we have the axe, and I guess I'm gonna go with an armor of these, even though it's not red, but I think I'm just gonna go with this piece from the center here. So I'm dragging this in here. Actually, I'm just gonna also save the URLs to these really quick. The image URL. Put this here. And then we are gonna build our reference for outfitting our character. Where is the boots? I'm just gonna take these. Why not?
Boots and cats and boots and cats.
Drag this here, copy my URL, saving this. I'm saving these because we're gonna go into the editor in a second and just build our OREF. And I think that's it for the beginning. That's already enough. We have some piece of armor, we have some boots. This will look silly. The red boots with the green armor will maybe look very silly. Do we have other boots? I called for boots. I'm taking my time here and be very picky about the things because I want to show you that it can be. I'm too far up now. Here is boots. I want some boots. Why do we have a red goblin? Tiny red troll standing behind the counter. Troll with bro hat and robe with white shirt. And he's just displaying some boots. Here, these are nice boots. I'm gonna take.
While you're finishing collecting this, do you want me to just show the one that I did with the blue cape and Victor as a little intro to building the OREF?
Why not?
Okay, yeah.
Why not? I'm gonna give you the screen back.
Okay. All right, sweet. So A good chunk of this is going to be showing off how OREF can combine assets and essentially bring together a bunch of different elements into one, essentially merging them in a smart way. So, for example, I'm actually going to share one that I've already done, just to give you guys an idea of what this does. So, if I scroll on back, I got a whole bunch of things that I was testing for this earlier today. But essentially, when I found a piece of armor that I liked, I found this blue cape here on the left side here. I isolated just to the blue cape in the image, and I used the editor to do this. So this was the result of layering an image of Victor that I already had and the blue cape side by side. And the only thing that I prompted for this was I included the mood boards for our fantasy series in here, but I used it as an omni reference. You can see right here, which resulted in this. And it combines these two elements together intelligently by only having the prompt say "knight in a blue cape." Okay. So this is a very, very, very simple example of what we'll be doing today to get our characters armored up, appropriate to each villain that we will be addressing today. But it's essentially going to be building like a visual board of your character, including all their outfits, their or like each part of their outfit, the boots, the gloves, and their weapon, and having it figure out how to merge all that stuff together. So that's just my very quick little demo of showing what sort of thing we'll be building today. If I go into the Fantasy Friday room that we have here, and I grab, say, one piece of armor that I like, just to give a quick live demo of this. I found one earlier, and of course I'm okay. Yes, here it is. So I really like this one. I think this one would be pretty cool for us to merge with one of our characters. So I'm going to use Jordy to kind of illustrate this here. But I'm going to right click on it and hit copy URL, and then I'm going to go to edit here. I'm going to hit edit on URL and then paste that URL into there. What that's going to do is it loads up a new instance of the external editor so that we can use, say, the Smart Select tools. Let me just make my thing a bit bigger here. Where's that select here? You go to select, and then we are going to hit include, and we're just going to start clicking on the parts of the armor that we want. So it's as long as it's a pretty broad selection, it'll do a pretty good job immediately selecting whatever's in the image here. So I want to make sure it includes these little teeny prongs on the shoulders. So I went ahead and added another dot up here. And now I have this fully isolated that I can click erase background, and boom. I have now a very well cut out version of this armor. And the next thing I need to do is I need to grab Jordy here, and I'm going to do that from our Discord. I'm just going to grab the link for Jordy here, hit copy image address, and then I am going to hit add layer. So the layer buttons is here, hit add layer, and then add from URL. Now I can paste Jordy into here and use the move function on here to move him to the side, switch to layer 2 and move that over to the side. And guess what we've just done? We've built a very, very simple reference for armoring this character. So now I'm going to just, let's see here. I'm just going to write a prompt. You can be pretty generic with this. It doesn't have to be anything too detailed, but I'm just going to, in fact, I'll just use a void prompt, which is something that we use here a lot whenever we don't really know what we want to prompt exactly. So it's 2 quotes, boom, boom. And I'm just going to send that. I'm not even going to worry about the version, mid, or anything. I just want this image. I just want to be able to download this image and see if we're able to then use that as an omni reference to build the final result here. if it embellishes on this armor too much because of the void prompt, yeah, it is doing exactly that. So I'm actually going to write the prompt as white background. So white background, and see if we can just avoid having it generate a bunch of stuff for this here. If not, I can always add another layer that is just white. And use that. Oh, it's giving him wings. It's giving him wings here. Let's see. I'll go with the one that changed the model like the least, I would say. I could do this a different way. I could include the white to make sure that this is not going to merge like this. So let's do one more here, and then I'm going to include a new layer and add from file, I guess. And I'll quickly make a white background for this. This is gonna be silly, but you can use MS Paint. You can use anything to just give yourself a.
I have one for you.
Oh, you do.
I did prepare a white background for this occasion today. I can send it in chat really quick.
I literally just exported it though. It's not a big deal. It's not. It's really not.
Okay.
I got it. Don't worry about it.
Everybody else will need it.
There you go. Yeah. So I just said add from file, and I said white layer, and I dragged that layer to the bottom. Now this is good to go for either downloading the image right off the bat, or I can just hit enter here with either white background or a void prompt, just to give us something to work with here. There you go. There's your white screen inside of the text chat if you need it. But because if you could just grab the URL from this box, by the way, not a big deal. But what we can do now is I have this image downloaded. Okay. I can come over to our Fantasy Friday room here. Chat. There you go. And I am just going to take this downloaded image from the editor and drag that into the Omni reference here. And then I'm going to say that he is a fantasy battle cleric in black armor with gold details. It's important with version 7 to at least describe whatever your intent is, whatever's inside of the image, especially inside of the Omni reference. But I'm just going to go ahead and submit with this. I didn't put any profiles on there with this first one. In fact, I'm just going to add those two here and then resubmit that again here. So we're going to get a version without any mood boards to kind of help guide the results, one with mood boards, and I'll even include one that has the style reference that is just a page from the fantasy series here. So let's take a look at all three of these results really quick, and then I'll hand it back to Rhapsody. So whatever details are missing from your character, that means that your prompt needs to include it. It could be that his glasses disappear, that kind of thing. We'll take a look at the results here and see what we get. Look at that. It put him in like kind of a dress-like shape here. That's interesting. Okay, look at that. That is awesome. And it's super close to the design of the armor. So that's really cool. It gave him a bit of a beard here. Let's see if we can. This is with the mood boards here. And then this is with the style references. So it's doing some funky stuff with the head in certain places. Like we're getting some oddness, but I do like how it casted him in shadow, and you cannot see his eyes. Like that would be fun to work with here. So you got to find one that really gives all the details of the character in a way that's believable. This is the best result in my opinion. But the thing is that you shouldn't be 100% happy with whatever comes out of this by default. You can use the variation function in order to see what alternates you have on your line art. I do find it really interesting that it gave him a mask as well. Like we have like a facial covering that's included with this armor. So that's really cool. But let's take a look at what the variation does, and then I'm going to hand it back to Rhapsody here before I commit to this one, and then we'll add more armament to this character over time. He is missing his halo as well, but we can always add that later. Not really too worried about that. So let's take a look at the variations. It's almost done here, and then we'll start digging into what you guys got going on. All right. Sweet. That one's actually really cool. This one I think is better illustrated for the intent of the
Yeah, that's
eyes.
dope.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. Let's go ahead and upscale this one. I usually do 3 creative upscales and 1 subtle, and the reason why I do that is because creative upscale is like legit the way you go from making really good stuff to great stuff, because it really, like, some results when it comes to upscale creative are just fantastic at making all those little details pop, and giving you again another chance to vary your results until you're happy with it. So okay, so while that's upscaling, I'm gonna hand it back over to Rhapsody, and she can take it over from here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take over the screen again.
Perfect.
So, nice. We got some equipment here. I got everything laid out, and I'm just gonna go directly into the editor right now and edit an uploaded image, which is on my desktop in the workshop. Where is workshop? Character workshop, calling all heroes here. Just a simple white background as a start. So I'm gonna start with this. And we're gonna now construct the equipment of our elves here. So I'm just actually gonna start with this. I'm just gonna really quickly drag this up here so it uploads, and grab the URL and just paste it in here. And now I have the base for my elves. Now I just want the left side. I just want the face. I like that they have a stone on their face. That's a bit more magical. Also, magical crystals have become something really big in Phantasma. I don't know, everybody seems to love them, and I think they are a great source of magical energy. So I'm just gonna erase this. I'm erasing everything except her face. And now I'm just gonna use the smart select and select her and say erase background. Now I just have her face, which is fine. I see some frailing around this, so maybe I can restore paint a little bit here just to get more of her outline back and some more of her face. I don't have to be super exact with this, but it helps at least getting like the important parts. I don't want to be missing pieces of her ear, for example. Then I'm just gonna very carefully try to erase around this again. Now it is important when creating these OREFs to leave as many details as you can. Just because having a sharp reference image will give you a sharper output image in the end. So we can over detail this, and really, like, the best way of doing this is probably just going in Photoshop and making a correct, like, transparent PNG. But we're not going to do this today because I told myself we are going to do a Photoshop free stream today. So I'm just carefully in painting pieces here. Oh, restore. Erase, I switched layers, so I'm now switching back. What? What happens? Why am I switching back all the time? Erase, I said. Just gonna do this, and then I'm restoring this white paint. Okay, that's her face sorted out. So we're gonna move this now to an appropriate spot. Something like this, up here. Now, to the next part. I want her armor. So I'm just gonna upload this again. And I could actually just use the link that I saved. Boom. This is fine. We're going to scale this a little bit so that it fits her size. So this should be fine here. And then we're going to smart select again. Just select like this piece of armor. I don't want the archery equipment. So I'm leaving that out. Well, give me a better selection. This looks quite fine. I add this down here. Does it help? A little bit. I like the selection previously better, so I'm just gonna click on these again. Yeah, that's good. Erase background. So now we have an armor for her. I'm just gonna move this down here and in paint again restore some pieces here just to get her full arm. That's the worst thing about the Smart Select, by the way, is this frailing that we often get at the edges, but it can be repaired. Just need to do it a little bit manually.
Yeah, that's true for almost every object selection thing out there. It's like sometimes you get really clean line art and it's not hard for it to figure out where the lines are, but I fight with line art all the time, especially when we're talking about like 3 to 5 pixel thick line art. It'll sometimes just skip doing that, skip selecting it. That's true for Photoshop. That's true for Midjourney. It's true for everybody. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it is. I'm just gonna go in here and take my time because we want to mostly clear reference. Midjourney is able to repair these. And we will do a bunch of that in a second. I don't want this arrow thingy up here. Do I like the cloak? I don't think I like the cloak. So we're just gonna remove this down here. Doing this with a mouse, by the way, because my graphics tablet is like way too far to my left right now. So if you don't have a graphics tablet, you can do this too.
I would love if the editor like had it so you could turn down the opacity on the layers.
Yeah, that would help a lot. That would help a lot. We could actually place her inside of the cloak now that I think about it.
Yeah, even
Maybe
just a paint bucket white, a paint bucket black would be useful for situations like this, so we're not just grabbing, white boxes, black boxes when we want to swap backgrounds.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna add her boots as a new layer. These are nice boots. And we do just the same thing. I just need one. I'm gonna take the left one here. Segmentation failed. Please try again. Okay. Ah, that's a good selection. Love that. Erase background. Oh, just gonna move this down here. And in paint, restore again around the edges. Just to get the complete boot here. Yeah. That's good. And erase the rest again.
I'm also gonna grab an axe for Jordy, given we're fighting trees. At least I'm having.
Axes are definitely not the worst weapons that we could choose today when we're fighting these trees.
And we're not just fighting the tree. That's just what I'm gonna have Jordy fight.
Yeah. So now I need the axe. There's the axe. Copy, add another layer, add from URL. You can do this in steps, by the way. You don't need to add all the layers at once. I just like to do it that way, to just have one base generation that I can come back to and just edit all of the things if I feel the need to later. Segmentation failed again, but I added another point. Yeah, that looks good. Erase the background. Move the thing to the left. And it's important when building these to scale them correctly in reference to each other. Like the boots, that's not that important. I guess we could make them a little bit smaller just to be better in scale. But especially when it comes to weapon to body size, you want to be as perfectly like scaling wise as possible. And we could make the axe gigantic. Actually, it would be quite funny. Yeah, well, let's try it. If it doesn't work, we can go back in here and just reduce the layer size a bit, and then make it smaller.
I actually did a remix of the exact same axe that you grabbed, but I did a fire axe instead of water. So red gems instead of blue gems.
Cool. And we can be really picky, and that's the beauty about this method. We can be really, really picky about our equipment and on the design, because it will reference a lot of that. What else do we want? Oh yeah, I have these emblems here. I want my soldiers to have some sort of emblem. And I think I want them to have this golden piece in the center here. Looks like a bunch of leaves stacked. Erase background. So now we have this, and I want them to wear it like right here. That's nice. And on the right side, I also want them to have a shield. So now I'm gonna take one of these weapons and misuse them as a shield. Let's go for the green one, actually. Smart select. I'm gonna selecting this thing. Yep, that's about what I want. Erase the background. Resize it. And move it over here. And then we gonna restore some of the edges again. Right here. So, yeah, that looks good. And now we're gonna erase again, just to make it a little bit more clear. And I'm taking a lot of time with this just because it's that important. The more garbling and weirdness you have in your reference, the more problems you will encounter later. So it's really worth it to take the time here.
All right, and everyone's focused on what you're doing.
Okay.
You're good. You're good.
So maybe make it even bigger. I cannot make it bigger. That's also very sad. And we cannot go in the image scale above 100. So if you want something really big in your reference, you might want to really zoom in on that and do an upscale before you include it in here. We could actually do that. Not for now. Let's just have a look. So we have our face, we have our weapon, we have some boots, we have general armor, we have a shield. That's all the parts that I need. We have an emblem. Now we're going to do some cleanups. So I'm going to go back down to the bottom layer here and use the paint erase to just go around the weapons, these edges here. I'm doing this to give Midjourney like a slight area, because it's going to compress these down to like fix errors and stuff. So it's going to replace this gray area that I'm inpainting right here with some art, maybe a white background, maybe some outline. And it's going to try to solidify the item in that area and maybe extend it. So also around the boot here a little bit. Boom. Her face is actually pretty good, so I'm just gonna be tiny little bit here. And we're gonna go around here. So, and the shield. Okay. That is it for now. I'm just gonna go back and grab the profile codes really quick. Copy and also save this thing. Put it in as a style reference. So now we want to describe what we actually want to see. So this is a character equipment reference image. We can just write that right like that. We have an axe and shield, and we have a green ranger armor, and green boots with golden rims. So that's what we have on the image, and that's what we want our output to be. Now I'm gonna go in here, and with this ranger armor, I'm just gonna go and erase what I don't like about it. So this left emblem is something I didn't want. Also beneath this emblem, I'm gonna erase a tiny bit. And we could, in theory, also erase the hair here, which is probably gonna be beneficial in the end, because we don't want everybody to have blonde hair. So I'm just gonna remove this here. And I'm also going down to the bottom layer, and I'm erasing all the whites that I see behind this selection here. Remember, the gray area is what Midjourney is going to fill in. And that's about it. We submit the edit. And I like to do that a bunch of times. And see what we get. I'm going to have a look at the things you guys are making right now while this is rendering. Let's scroll down all the way. I see more and more amazing trees. Like this thing is a menace. What does it say? Don't hurt my babies. Oh, this is the flame axe.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Of these. I see people making equipment. Oh, in the dark. Oh my god. And what do we have here? Skeleton fighting monster. Octopus-like tree with tentacles. Anime. Uh-huh. Wow. With crystals, crystallized facets, lots and lots of magic crystals. Giant trees with a mask. This is cool. What's this? It looked a little bit like the Iron Giant. Tree dragons. Okay. Our enemy just got worse. We now have trees that spit fire. Great. Oh my god.
Also,
Wow.
Lolo, Lolo's,
of course.
Yeah, and Lolo soon's bringing out the catapults to fight these guys coming in.
Nice. I'm gonna drink here. And I just swamped my table with all the things. I'm gonna give it back to you because I have to clean this up really quick.
You're good.
My whole table is underwater now.
Oh no, you're good.
Yeah.
No rush. So, what I've done here is I have taken the design of the armored version of Geordie now, and I've put the fire axe next to him, and I have given it a handle, and I did that all with in painting inside of the Midjourney editor. I'll just do a quick look at that really quick. So inside of the editor here, there's a couple of failed results. There's a bug right now, which sometimes the results don't fully render and it will not come back properly. But I went through and I was like, oh, all these axe lengths are a little weird. So I shortened the length of it by changing the in paint from this on just the white layer that you see behind me to this. So I shortened it to make it more of a one-handed axe as opposed to a two-handed axe. And then those results were much better. So I went with the first one here. And now, back in the fantasy room, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to describe one of these scenes and see if I can get him to equip this here. So let's do an animated fantasy film depicting a black armored let's just say warrior, just generic warrior, because he's no longer a cleric. He doesn't, at least not from the visual sense of it or anything. We can always describe him as a cleric if we want to, but with a fire axe. And I'm gonna give him a scene as well. So, standing on the castle walls as a giant tree monster approaches. Giant tree monsters approach from the woods nearby. And I'm going to include a style reference. I'll include the one that we've been using here, just as our starting style reference. And let's see here. I'm also going to include our mood boards. Boom, boom. 16.9 version 7. And let's see what that gives us right off the bat. And if I wanted to include one of these scenes, these amazing scenes involving these tree monsters coming into the castle here, we can grab one of the ones that we saw on just earlier. Where is that? Not this one. Looking for the one that Rhapsody found with the distant trees here. I like this one a lot. That is a pretty cool one. But it does feature another character in there. That's fine. We can do that one. So let's grab this and use that as an image prompt for this one as well. And we will compare the two results that we get here. So just describing the scene with this character holding the axe, they're doing it in all the results. The axe is a little funky because I feel like I need to kind of clarify some aspects of the axe. Like it should be a double-sided axe, like that kind of thing. And without any visual reference of what the tree monsters are, it's giving us more like generic trees with monster faces on them. So let's see what happens when we combine that image prompt with it as well. Did that happen here? It did not. Okay, so let me grab that image prompt one more time. Let's just grab this one here. That works. And I'll drag that to image prompt. Okay, it didn't work. Hold on a second. Grab the URL for it instead. And I'm going to paste the URL in there. There, now it works. Okay. Now I'm going to submit this. And we'll take a look at that. With the description or using the... yeah, look at this. Like, that is, like, almost perfect. Like, it's great. To kind of give us an idea of how it's going to merge our weaponry and the armor of our characters. And we could do this in stages, essentially saying, hey, I only need, I only want to focus on one element at a time. And that will give you the most control throughout this process. But we should be able to build a completed sheet with all sorts of different armory and different aspects of the character and have it all merged together in a believable way. So I like this result more than the others, but like it is one of those things where at this point I would start directing and doing other things, but I want to hand it back over to Rhapsody to start taking, because we got some cool ways to fight back against this as well. So. Are you ready? Ba-bam.
I'm here. Ba-bam. Whoosh. I should really change this transition so we have one for Gnarly Studios. Let's that's a project for later. So I have my gens here, and what I encountered here, and this is happening sometimes, is that I get these gray outlines along the items, which is really not what we want because it adds a lot of garbage pixels on the white background. And that usually happens when the editor has no idea what to put there because the area to inpaint is just too small. And maybe also, if we go back here, there is probably some garbage here in the individual elements. Where's the shield? Is the shield? Yeah, this is the shield. I think no. We started off with the head, armor, boots. This should be the shield. Let's move a bit. Oh, this is the emblem. Oh, what's this? This is the axe. This is the shield. So if I move this, we see that there is a lot of like frailing around. So I'm just going to take away a little bit more. Because these tiny pixels will inform a journey that there should be something that is matching these pixels. So maybe taking off a little bit more will help here. Remove this. Just gonna move this over here, and we do the same thing for the other things. This is the emblem again. Like these things here display what you actually have, but they display it in the original like position of the layer. And it's very, very tiny. I wish we could just see these in big instead. Actually, if I go here, no, I cannot even open it in a different thing. That's her head. That's the armor. Yeah, we can start with the armor. Oh no. I see some problems now that I didn't encounter before with all of these overlaying layers and stuff. It's hard to just grab a thing, but we can also repair it in the end. Yeah, I'm just gonna go into the bottom layer and just enlarge the area around the things a little bit. Because it's pretty clear that it should be a white background. Right? So just make this bigger. Boom, 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 boom. So, and let this render again. And I also added isolated on a white background just to be very clear. Let's see what happens. Betterer. It's adding a second boot down there. That's not what we want. Yeah, no. No. We're gonna go with one of these instead. It will work. It will work anyways. This is good. I'm just gonna go in here and just erase again these corners that I don't like. Like this gray area here. Just cut into the thing. Down here too. Submit a bunch. Luckily the editor is very fast now. And it's important to say, if you didn't know, even though we have version 7 up here, I'm actually not at 100%, it's rendering these with version 6. And that's probably also causing some of the wonkiness in this case. So what you can do if you encounter this, especially with this art style, is just switch to Niji. And that will help. And yes, this is Hannah, I'm very picky. Aha. These are better. Still a little bit of gray, but that's fine. Just gonna pick the one that is the cleanest. I like this for the axe. But I'm more worried about the boot. The boot is sharp here, the shield is sharp, the axe is fine, the face is visible, and the cloak and the ranger thing is nice. So, now, next step. Important in version 7 and important in understanding OREF is that it depends a lot on words. We discovered this, we experienced this in the beginning, especially when version 7 was out without any OREFing. But when you're using OREF, it's important to think about how it actually identifies things in your image. So when you're adding an OREF, you also need to describe what you want to reference for it to pick from the reference and apply that information onto your image. So what we need to do now is describe the items that we have here. And this will also help you get a spell or a description of your character that you can even prompt very well without any references at all. And that will help you repair things in the end. So I'm just gonna go in here and add a bunch of lines. Oh, I clicked one too many. One too often. Just gonna add a bunch of lines here, and we're just gonna start describing axe. And we have a shield. And we have a ranger cloak. And we have an elf. And we have the ranger cloak with the emblem. So let's start. Axe. We have a very big axe with a wooden handle made out of black metal with golden rims and a blue jewel in the center. A very big axe with 2 blades. The axe has a wooden handle. Is made out of black metal with golden rims and a blue jewel in the center. That's our axe. Now our shield. A green shield with a blue gem in the center and golden rims. Then we have a ranger cloak. Deep green ranger cloak with golden, what do we call this? It's not rims. Deep green ranger cloak and leather armor with golden, what's the word? I'm missing the word here. Embellishment? Is that a word?
Embellishment. Yeah. Yes. Just embellish, yeah.
Of golden embellishment. And a leather what's this thing called? I'm sorry, I'm missing words today.
Belt?
Belt, that's the word. I could just describe this in German. This would also work.
Gotta love Midjourney. Just go hard on any language.
Yeah. So, on the chest there is an emblem that looks a golden emblem. Is a golden emblem that looks like multiple leaves stacked onto each other. Then we have the elf. High elf with green hair. Sun-browned skin and a blue jewel on the forehead. So that's our individual descriptions, and now we can just build a complete description of the whole character out of these pieces. And we can exactly describe where we want these pieces. So what we want to produce next is a complete character design for this hero. So we have a female high elf with green hair, sunburned skin, and a blue jewel on the forehead. So that's our base. She wears a deep green ranger cloak and leather armor with golden embellishment and a leather belt. On the chest there is a golden emblem that looks like multiple leaves. Leaves? I'm not sure. Leaves stacked onto each other. Mid-journey will know. In her left hand, she holds a small shield. A small green shield with a blue gem in the center and golden rims. Green shield. On her right hand, she holds a very big axe with 2 blades. And that's the full description of everything that we have in here. And we're just going to copy this. I'm going to upscale this to the gallery. And go into our room. And I'm just going to paste this. I'm going to take our SREF again. Just place it in here. And now let's go and watch the upscale go. It will take a little while. I'm just going to have a look at your... You're putting me underwater images and catapults and stuff. I want to know what's going on. There's gigantic catapults. Those are attacking our city. Why are the catapults attacking our city? You should attack the enemy. You're going the wrong way, guys.
They're hired guns. They just don't know who their enemies are.
It's the big monster that's eating everybody. It's not the city walls.
You gotta be specific when you hire your mercenaries. They don't know.
Yeah. Oh my god, now we have burning trees. This is amazing. Cool.
They're adapting.
Happening.
I updated Jordy a little bit too. I had to do a little bit of in painting for it, and I think I'm going to do a little bit more to compensate for a little bit of the outfit returning to the previous version without the armor. I'll post it here inside of the room here right now. I gotta open up the fantasy chat one more time here. Boom. And I will. Oh, that's right. I'll paste it inside of the chat inside of the fantasy room here. So it's going to be on the right side there. As soon as it finishes. I accidentally pasted it inside of the bar, which making it an image prompt first. So it's going to finish uploading the image prompt first. And then hopefully finish uploading onto the chat here. Come on, you got this. You got this, chat. I'll try it again. Oh, there it goes. Nope, I got it. And submitted. Okay, so that's it cleaned up with the Fire Axe now used, because I also cleaned up the OREF a little bit for it as well. So there you go. Cool. It's very cool.
Nice. Cool. And I have waited for my upscaled reference image for this. And now I'm just going to send this. And in the beginning, we're going to write character design on a white background. She is ready to fight. She is a female high elf, and so on. I'm gonna prompt this in an aspect ratio of 1:1 because I want all my resolution to be evenly distributed on this. If we get her really tiny, we're maybe gonna change this. And I have an omni weight of 50 to start because I want Midjourney to take some freedom in interpreting this reference image and basically completing the look. But we can increase this. Actually, let's do this with a bunch of permutations. So if you put things in these curly brackets and you just write multiple values in here, and it's just gonna send a bunch of these. But here we got our images. And yeah, I see the gray outlines, which are problematic. So this needs to be fixed. The axe is not a problem. The axe is pretty darn well like in the image. The cloak and the uniform is there. And her head is also, like her face is also very perfectly done. The shield isn't. It didn't really interpret the shield. But we might get this if we just look at higher. Oh, look at this.
That's
now
looking
we
close.
Are at
That's
still
getting
50.
Yeah.
This is pretty close, yeah. And this is also amazing. The axe is kind of weird, but that's fine. Here we have the shield and the gigantic axe. Just gonna go through these. It really doesn't understand the shield, apparently, which is fine. We don't need it really. But I will pick one of the images that has the shield. And here we have the axe. We have her holding the axe. We have the shield on her arm. This is perfect. This is really good. Also, the gray outline isn't really a problem. We could vary this subtly a few times and just see what happens. And also, I'm going to do a few strongs. But you can see already the control we have with this method by describing it, especially the emblem, right? It's exactly what I wanted. And we just plonked that on there without it being present in the original image. And we have basically like almost exactly, I love this one. This is perfect. Like this is really good with her having the hood on top. I'm just going to edit this really quick and just edit out these areas and maybe repair her hand here a bit. Let's do this and just change to Niji. I'm getting notifications. I'm gonna go on Do Not Disturb. Except if somebody of you is writing me. No. So let's have a look here. Yeah, better. That's a weird way of grasping the axe. I don't really. That is way better. I'm going to take this. I'm going to upscale this to the gallery. And now we have a bunch of elves here. Maybe we got another good one. This one is also very good. I'm just going to like this. Did we go through these? Are these the same? Probably. Oh, this is just my library. Huh. Did I not prompt in Fantasy Friday? I did. Here. These are all the variations. It's changing the form of the axe quite a bit on these varies. But that's fine. Not every single axe needs to be the same.
While you're doing that, Reps, I do want to say that I got Jordy sitting inside a catapult bucket, ready to get launched at one of the trees with his flaming
Yeah.
axe. It's there's one panel, the most recently generated image, is literally him going, "What did I sign up for?" Like the.
Oh my god.
We're all gonna sit in catapults and launch at these trees. That's what I'm thinking.
This looked like a good idea from the outside. Oh, there's gnomes fighting the small versions of this.
Yeah, the gnomes are used to getting
And here's
thrown
our
around.
enemy.
Oh, there we go.
Fungi-mancers controlling them.
Doppelman, who's
Uh-huh.
not able to get in, who's not able to get into the room, said maybe you should describe it as a long shield or a long kite shield. And I appreciate
long
you hanging
shield.
out even though you can't get in the room.
Oh yeah, we can try that.
Oh
We
yeah,
can try
kite
that.
shield. That's right. Yeah, I always forget that. You
Kite
can-
shield is a good one.
Yeah.
Long kite shield. So where is the shield down here? Small green shields. A long green kite shield. Yeah, let's gen these. I'm also gonna go and use this prompt and change the aspect ratio to 2:3. Maybe increase this to 75 for now, the strength. Oh, come on. I'm still in the room. Yeah, let's do a bunch more. I want a really perfect reference if I can have one. But if not, if these don't like give us better results, then we're just gonna move on. I like this version of like the axe. It seems like you could chop these tentacles from like very far away with this long thing, and the blade being curved like a half moon. Here we have something with a sword. Here, oh, I like this. That's cool. The emblem is a bit big, but that's fine. Let's upscale this. We can try a bunch of different references. No, it just doesn't like the shield, no matter how. Like, we could try to make the prompt better, to describe it better, or just change direction and take a different shield, or or just perfect the prompt, but I'm not going to do that now because it will take quite some time. We want to get going. Let me go to my create tab and just grab this one for now. Copy image. And now we're gonna go and create out of this image with one reference, we are able to create an army. And we're gonna take our prompt. Where is it? Here.
I'll be right back. I gotta feed my cat.
And now instead of prompting a character design on a white background, she's ready to fight. We're going to modify this prompt. So we want high elves. With sun brown skin and a blue jewel on the forehead. We want they wear a deep green ranger cloak and leather armor with golden embellishment. And that's all good. In the left hand, they hold a long green kite shield. In the right hand, they hold a very big axe with 2 blades. So I'm going to take this whole thing, and now we're just going to prompt a platoon of elf warriors standing ready to march into war. They are bowing before their leader in the elven evergreen forest. And we're gonna prefix this with an anime screenshot from the anime movie. And now I'm gonna take the omni weight and put it down to about 75 as a beginning. So we want 75% of our reference. But this text should, in theory, create as an army. I say in theory, but I did it a bunch of times already. And I'm also gonna do, because we want the anime movie screenshot, I'm gonna take the aspect ratio to 16:9. And then I'm gonna refresh the room because it gave me that stupid 404 again. Oh my god. Launch the cleric. Launch him. And what do we have here? Gnome on a pigeon? Green gnome superhero riding a pigeon. And here he's flying through the air. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. But you can see it. You can see it. We have an army of elves. We have an army of elves, and they have the same equipment. They are missing the axes. Some of them have them, which is fine. We want some variety. The problem that you maybe encounter some of the time is that they all have the same face. But we can change that. We can just go down here, down to 50, and also do stylize a little bit higher. We start with, let's go to 300 for now. I'm doing this because this type of referencing is introducing some problems with clarity. That will always happen. It can be solved with really good references and really good omni references and really good style references. If I'm looking at this, what we have right now is a lot of rims and bad pixels that we really don't want. And also the shadows and the light is making it harder for Midjourney to understand, like the borders of everything. But by dropping down the weight and increasing stylize, we're giving Midjourney the freedom to give everybody of these guys their own face, even though they look similar, and also fix some errors by increasing the stylization. Prompt. Let's go. Omniweight 50 is okay. Let's crank this up to 1,000 actually. Let's try this. And we're just walking through the dark forest at night. The moon shines and reflects off of their giant axes. And again, I did it again. I missed the aspect ratio. Oh, come on. I see all of you having fun with. Oh, that's Victor prompting him.
Yeah, I'm having some fun.
And Gopasta has the the gnome superhero. Nixie is prompting an army for what was his name? What was his name?
His name is Jordy.
Victor? Jordy, right. And here's large armies. An epic battle landscape is filled with elven armies defending the towering castle with tree spirits. Oh, this is also a very cool image. There's some wonkiness in here that we could repair. But we got the axes and stuff. Let's see. Yeah. This is good. We see them wandering. Here we see them with their shields out, looking down. And if we have an image, which is really, really good, we can, of course, use this again as a reference to then prompt a platoon of soldiers or an army into battle. So I'm just going to take this one here and edit it. Because there's a lot, I'm just going to increase it to 16 by 9 here because I forgot to do that. Where is that? There was a button for this somewhere. Here, 16 by 9. Just going to place this in the center. And now we don't have a reference, and I want that. I want to change to Niji because of the drawn aesthetics. And I'm just going to paint their faces here. This is cool. This is fine. These are different elves. Just going to submit that. Shields here look a little bit weird in detail, so maybe we could also improve something here. Interesting. Not what I expected. Apparently we have bunny friends. That's probably because we're missing the references.
It's also it could also be because
cool.
of Niji as well. Niji adding a whole bunch of random elements.
Yeah, of course. It's also Niji. But I actually quite like that because you want variety in your group of rangers. You don't want all of them to have the same face. You even sometimes want to have different equipment, right? So here we have somebody who looks like from a completely different kind. What we're missing in this image, though, is the axe. So maybe we're going to go back to version 7 instead. This is a bit try and error. But as I said, the better your references is, the less problems you have down the line. I should have picked something with the actual axe. Just to don't lose that if we prompt it any further. But what we also can do is take this image, copy image URL, just place her here. Add from URL. Boom. Smart select.
And while Rhapsody's doing that too, I added a element to Jordy's prompt, which is he is uncomfortable with everything happening around him. and it just makes him like very uneasy and unconfident, and I find that really funny.
Ooh.
I will get off your stream. I'll be back later.
Oh, I think Victor is back.
Oh yeah, I'm
Yay!
back.
And I will turn off my video. But it's actually quite a good time if you want to jump in, Kinky, and do your announcements. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Well then, hello. Name's Kinky Kong, and I'm here to say you should come play Prompt Battles every Sunday and every Saturday and every day that Prompt Battles is here. Uh, no, really though.
Okay.
I we have Prompt Battles on Saturday and Sunday this week, and it is a event that we do. We do a little contest over and over and over again, where one person gives us the challenge, and then we do that challenge for about 10 minutes, and we come back, we bring our image, and then we put it in something called a poll unit. Now, the poll unit is a little something that we use to keep things fair, anonymous, and give you the peace of mind to know that nobody else is looking at your name or anything else when they vote for your image, or you can't see who voted for your image, because that stuff is private. And so once we all vote, the person who gets the best image, or is chosen as the winner, uh, gets a free fast hour and the right to tell us all what to do for the next 10 minutes. So I think that you should come because everybody's super nice and friendly and really, really cool and helpful. And we do it for like hours a weekend. I don't see why, if you wanted to, you couldn't find the time, because there's lots of different kinds of ways to win free fast hours. I hope you come and hang out with us. And that's about that from me. This has been your Kinky Minute. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Kinky.
Thank you.
I love making your little character just walk across the screen.
I want to see some claps and some hearts for Kinky.
Yeah, give it up
Everybody
for Kinky.
clap in chat. I'm gonna do it too.
You guys are making me blush with all your totally unprompted enthusiasm.
But everything's prompted here.
It's true.
I know.
All right. I got her at least in. And this is the main problem I face with the editor, by the way. With this going down versions and stuff, it's really hard keeping the clarity from the original one. But if we have a good reference, we can use that and just be fine with the evolution of the images that happen. And we can always go back and just generate better ones. So that's fine. But yeah, I have her in here. Let's just take this and upscale that. And what I'm not now also going to do, just as a test, is I'm just going to take the text 16 by 9 v7 and our woodwords. Just going to prompt the text to see what we're getting out of that. Whoa, look at these. It's pretty close. They don't have the axes. They have these weird weapons, but that's fine. That's really cool. I like this one. I'm gonna try something. We're gonna take the same thing and we're adding our style reference just to solidify the style. What do we have here? These are way better. That's an omni weight of 50 and a stylize of 1,000. Yeah, that you can really see here how the stylize of 1,000 repaired a lot of the problems that we had with diminishing clarity and these weird outlines. So this is one of the occasions where the strong stylization values of version 7 can really help you. If you're getting if you're getting this problem that your clarity is going down while using this method, just turn the stylize up. It usually fixes things. And also, that's the second thing. If you're prompting, if you're having good descriptions of your outfit, then you can just prompt different versions with 100% clarity and mix them together. And that's what I wanted to try here. I'm just gonna let this run a little bit. I'm also gonna do something else. I'm gonna go in here, do this as an omni reference with a very low omni reference weight, something like 20 or 10, maybe even 1. Just to get the omni reference to grab onto the things it sees. But let the stylization repair all the things. I'm gonna scroll up here. It really doesn't like the shield and the axe. Sometimes it does. But for most people, it's just shields. Yeah. This step is also important to get like different faces, different designs. Here we have a lot of the axes and the shields on the sides, and we have different faces. This might be a problem of the mood boards, though. Oh, I know what the problem is. I didn't include the style reference here. I want both, please. Let's go back to the room. Gnomes in front of giant burnt out and chopped down tree stumps. Did we win already? Did we win before the elves arrived? Also, this is cool.
Yeah, it's very cute.
3 awesome people. What? Nice.
This is great. I also got a result of Jordy standing in front of a bunch of catapults being launched into the air, which I just find funny. We ran out of cannonballs! Start shooting the catapults!
Who is this guy?
Yeah, that's interesting blend of old and young.
Oh, we got Fungimancer. Oh, here we got elves. Gompasta. Nice. Really nice. They all got different equipment. Here we got some weird bags and backpacks. Backpacks are nice. Did you do something different here? No, you just ran it again. Wielding magic axes. Yeah, you really focused in the prompt on these axes, which helps a lot. And here we have some different variations of the thing. Did you remix this? What is this? Remixed your Imagine. Yes. Yes, remixing helps a lot here to just gain back all the clarity. We lose some details of the original like design, but we gain clarity in return for that. And I would usually always prefer that. Having a better reference image to work with helps a lot. So what happened to my gens here? Yeah, we need to emphasize the axis. Just add them. They are carrying gigantic axes on their shoulders. Big axes made out of black and gold metal. Just let that run a few times. And maybe I'm just gonna snatch the work that composted it already. Just gonna... Oh, I like this. It's looking really cool. Just gonna grab this reference instead. Upscale, subtle, and creative. Let's scroll up here. Aha! But garble the face again. No, why do you do this to me, Midjourney? Yeah. All right. We got a lot of stuff done. How late is it? It's 0 for me. I don't know how long we usually go. I think about an hour more, right? We have more time.
Yeah, we do the show after the show in about 20 minutes.
All right.
Yeah. So just to let you
Then
guys know, like yeah, go ahead. You finish up.
No. You finish, and then I will continue, and then we're gonna fill the last half hour with something different, which is really cool.
Okay, sweet.
Like
sweet.
we're gonna continue working on this, but iterating.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking over for that. That was awesome. I want to also do a quick little shout out for anybody that is new that has hopped in here. You can join the Gnarly Studio server by clicking on VC Text and then seeing in the chat there Kinky has linked us to the server. I highly recommend joining that so that you can share your creations and also help us tell stories with through web comics or videos or whatever we end up making together. So we would love to see it, and we do something called the show after the show, where you can actually hop on the stage and talk with the group. It is usually a pretty full room, and we get a whole bunch of folks to come in and hang out with us. So I hope you do join to just hop into voice chat and then say, hey, I want to hear from you. But the otherwise, I think for the most part, though, we've gone over a lot of really cool stuff when it comes to engaging like a large swath of people against something. Like we have so many like approaching army images from Rhapsody's run here. But when it comes to what I was doing with Jordy behind the scenes, I was largely trying to capture some of his character reacting to what is happening inside of these what is it, inside of this space here. So like if you don't mind, Rhapsody, do you mind hiding your stream in the background? Awesome. Okay. So what we're seeing here is so many different little updates that I have done to Jordy's gnarly Studios character portal page. So after we had the armor, we established what his armor is going to be. We established the weapon against these tree people would be flames, and you guys made the trees flaming, so maybe that's like not as effective as you think it's going to be. But as soon as he comes out of the armory with his weapon, that he just says "neat," like, "Oh, cool, it catches on fire, neat," because of the red gem in the center. He notices something as soon as he walks out, which is that there's a large amount of people all in line. And the next step for me, at least for the little headcanon that I thought up here, is that he's going to be guided by a gnome to sit inside of the catapult. And we had that result earlier that Rhapsody had shown off here. And there it is, yes. So we had a couple results from inside of the basket from a couple different people, but this is the one that I made that I thought was really, really funny, and it's because of the expression on him on the top right here. We got like kind of a picture-in-picture, which is, to me, very useful because it lets me be able to like tell 2 lines of dialogue, like in one moment. But we can always use this face for later. It's very Gorillaz-like, actually. I get that comparison a lot with some of my work. That it just looks like Tank Girl or the Gorillaz band. But if we see from here, he gets launched through the catapult here. So we would probably have to dictate like swinging catapults with motion blur, motion lines, like that, those kind of things in the prompts in order to kind of bridge these 2 moments. But I really wanted the axe to be on fire as he's flying. So like this one I thought was a really cool result. You see where the catapults could be set up underneath him. It could be right down here, and we just have to inpaint those catapults to be there. And as I did some iterations on this, I did some variations, and I figured the ones where he looks like he's the most worried were the funniest to me. So I actually edited the prompts. I will go ahead and upscale this one though. What I ended up doing was editing the prompts to emphasize that he is worried and uncomfortable with what's happening around him, which gave us, as I kept going here, results more like this, which to me is a lot funnier. Like a lot funnier to just get these kind of blank expressions of like, oh God, what's happening? What's happening around me? And so what we're gonna do now is try to see if I can create an interaction between these the actual trees, like the flaming trees, and his axe, or his communication with the gnome before they start flying. But this Gome Pasta, this is so freaking funny. This is so funny to me. Oh my God. Like the tears he's like he's so excited to fulfill his purpose, which is to be a bullet for the catapult. Like he's just like, this is my day of glory is coming, or whatever. If you got rid of the tears too, it would just be like, that's his job, is to be a bullet. And I just find that so freaking funny. Like, this is genius. I 100% have to save this one. So props to you on that. That makes me laugh way too hard. And I see Troll For You has done a image already of of smashing these 2 results together with the axe of Jordy flying towards the axe. Oh, sorry, flying towards the tree here, which is great, because what we could do, if I were to take it even one step farther, we could even layer 2 of the same images with the editor. So let me show you that really quick. I'm going to copy this image address for my Troll For You, because this is the original image. This is the one that they had come up with. And this is awesome, by the way. This looks great. But what I'm going to do is actually take this image here, so copy image address, and then I'm going to go into the editor, and I'm going to say new. Where is it? Why am I blanking on where the new button is? I have to open it up a little bigger, sorry. New. It's on the top right here. Okay. So I hit edit from URL, and then I'm going to hit paste in there. So this will start up a new edit of this image. But here's the thing I want to do. I want to see what happens if we can kind of force the perspectives of this even more, right? Because right now he's a little small in the corner. It may not get understood, especially if I start like cropping in to get a little closer to him to have these two characters together. So what if because we could approach this two different ways. We could have a version of Jordy, the backside of him. If you guys can prompt that using what's inside of the Fantasy Friday room, try to get the backside of Jordy flying with the axe, right? So we can get this approach. That would be awesome. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to combine two results. So let's see if I can now hit new layer or add and then add by URL. And I'm actually going to paste the same URL into here. Okay. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I feel like what I can do is isolate this tree that's here using Smart Select. Let's see how many times I need to click this. I'll do 3 at first to get this tree. Oh, wow. Good. All right. It largely did it. That's great. I'm just going to maybe select some of the foliage over here. Yeah, that works. That works. Okay, so let's make this selection, and then I'm going to say erase background. Because it's the same image layer on top of each other, you don't really notice a difference right off the bat, right? But now what I do is I can take this layer, I can go into move, and I can actually shift this to be a little bit closer to him here. Okay. And the only reason I'm doing this is because it's just less work to composite. I don't have to do a lot in order to get a more tighter image or a more forced perspective. But what I'm imagining here is that imagine if the tree, villain notices him flying towards him. So there would be 2 little pupils or something inside of these eyes, kind of looking over. We're effectively making the tree look over its shoulder when it doesn't really have a shoulder. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this now in, cropping. And then also crop this. I don't know if the 2 croppings are going to work necessarily. But I'm going to bring this all tighter in like this, okay? And let me first just submit this as is. And see if it lets me just render it if there's any like problems I run into right off the bat. Sometimes when you like the double cropping can give us issues. I don't really know exactly when it gets angry with you with that. But what I'm essentially doing here, because there's no voids at all in here, each one of these images are going to be identical because it's just layering these together. Okay. And so what we now have though is a potential omni reference for getting these 2 characters to be interacting with each other with the same background, all that kind of stuff. The main reason I did this, though, because I really wanted to be able to see the details inside of Jordy flying towards him here. So now what I'm going to do is I have this image downloaded. I'm going to drag that and replace our Omni reference with that, and we're going to create a new prompt. So let me go back in the editor here to copy the prompt. In fact, I'll copy everything but the character weight there because we are going to be using version 7 for this. So let's go ahead and now open up the Fantasy Friday room. There we go. Okay. And yeah, I see you're locked. I see the locked up prompts here. But let's go ahead and try to paste this in here. And now I'm going to drag my downloaded image and push that into the bar down here, which will now let me drag that to Omni referencing and see, okay, so messy ponytail inspecting is flaming. Okay, so this is all my description from him in the shop. So now what if I say that this is, we come up to the text that we have of because we want to rely on existing results that are good, that are doing well. So, it is interesting that certain things are just not available for me though. Like I'm seeing some blacked out screens here. But let me find one of Jordy flying. I wanted one with the flaming axe, preferably. Where did that go? Sorry, it's taking me a second to find the flaming axe result here. Let me grab it. Actually, maybe from the bar here. It's probably. I'll just grab. I'll just grab one of the ones earlier. It's not that important. Let's just add flaming axe to the.
There was
words.
a flaming axe. It just was there.
Oh yeah.
In the right bar. Yeah.
Oh, in the
Scroll
right bar. Yes. But I'm
down. Yeah,
looking for
there it
the.
is.
I was looking for the text, not necessarily the images.
Oh, for the text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So let me just grab one of these down here.
You can switch to your images. That's faster, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't want to get out of this bar just yet though. So like, because if I do, then there you go. I just want to hit use. I'll just hit use here, and then I will swap out the Omni reference here. Boom. And now I have all the text of him flying and all that kind of stuff, but I want to include the giant tree monster as well. So, again, you could either scroll up and find text that helps you out in describing this gigantic tree-like octopus here. It's just because we're using rooms, the text is cut off at a point. So I can hit copy and then prompt. And I'm just going to, in a separate notepad, honestly, like this is quicker for me to do it with a separate notepad. I'm just going to paste it, do a quick little skim of it, and see that it says that the high elf is deep green emblem, and it's okay. This is a different prompt. This is a different prompt than what I had clicked on. Hold on. Copy, prompt. It's not the same one that's on the screen. Okay, now I got this one. Got it. Okay. So that was weird. You guys saw me copy that prompt. I mean, I definitely didn't do the wrong one. But let's go ahead and... Okay, a gigantic octopus-like tree with wooden tentacles is towering over the scene. So I'm going to just not do the scene description with the towering over and all that stuff, but I am going to now remove everything that isn't within the Omni reference here. So for example, it says that there is being tossed from a catapult in the air. There's no catapult, right? He's already in the air. We've moved past that in the scene. So let's now do... like flying towards, and then the description of the villain there. He looks worried as he flies through the air. I'm gonna keep that in there. Let's just go with this. I've already yammered on enough about this one. Let's see what we get. Wait, go, Basta. Go. Hold on. I had to cackle laugh there for a second because I am just laughing at these results. Jesus, they miss, and it's just, oh God. I know that there's some echo going on audio-wise, but oh my God, this is too funny. Oh my God.
It's me. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Oh God. This is the punchline to this moment, by the way, is the tree just slightly shifts to the right and just hits up in one of the towers. That is too freaking funny. But we are getting exactly what I described in the prompt. I really wanted to show you guys how to do quick editing with the editor, and it's definitely coming to fruition here because look at this. Look at that. Just flying towards and nearby this giant tree. So we could just take this and start iterating exactly what sort of either humor or action or set piece we want to do about all this coming in, like all these perspectives of this shot here. So if we wanted to say that this is more of a slapstick comedy moment, right? We could say instead of just animated fantasy film, we could say that this is where he says he looks worried and flies through the air with the double-sided X. So we could embellish on the he looks worried and say like he clumsily waves his arms around, yelling in panic as he flies. And this is going to be the tree moves slightly to the left in order to avoid him. Because there's just this epic scene where you're like getting built up for all the potential about what this action scene's going to be. And then it's just a subtle shift. And you're just not used to the idea of trees walking and moving. So that's the added duper. That's the exaggeration here, is that you're laughing at the idea of like, oh, they just didn't anticipate the tree to move or take a step to the left, and I'm still laughing at all these heads in the wall. By the way, it's just such a funny prompt. I really do need to break down why that prompt is working so well. But look at this. Look. So we would have to go back in and start describing or in painting fixes for the character's design that are now missing. But I am now it's at least capturing the humor of the moment. You know what I mean? And yes, especially this one. This one's great. And just this is moments before impact. So hilarious. And it's again, this is why I love doing this stuff with you guys. Because I had no idea what the point of this fight was going to be. But the idea of ending it with a punchline joke like this, hilarious to me. Like this is where you have so much buildup and anticipation, all because of you guys. All because one of you guys, in this case, Golden Pasta, gave me something really funny to laugh at. And it just takes a couple of panels to piece together these situations. And look at this. This is too funny to me because it could be that he just realized what is happening. So you could use the editor again, right? Just a moment here while it loads it up. And this was done by combining style references too, by the way. They combined this and this, which is pretty cool. But we'll give it a moment to load because it's not loading for me at the moment. Let me go back. Editor. Is it going to load? If not, that's fine. Let's just copy a link to this image. And then we'll make a new project. Edit by URL, which is true for every V7 project, guys. This is something that I've talked about before, where if I really wanted to hone this in, if I really wanted to use this image, I would actually first do variations on it and then upscale creative on it as well in order to get to what I consider the final product, because we are inevitably going to have to downstep to version 6.1 or NG6, right? So ideally we just have the best possible image we can get before we get to that point, including highest resolution. So upscale creative, go through that whole process until you're 100% happy with the image, and then bring it into the editor like this so that we can do fun stuff with that image. For example, now he is really high up. I mean, he's literally burning in the stratosphere as he's coming down at this height, right? So if I wanted to recontextualize this scene so that it makes more sense to what we have going on, I just select everything that belongs to him here. So it said segmentation failed there. Okay, yes. So there you go. And we just select everything that we want. We can also hit exclude if we want to exclude, say, the flames behind him. Okay, that's a perfect use of the exclude function. Okay, but I do want to include the flames that are on the side here. So maybe we can do both. Oh, so close. I'll include the one down here. Ah, okay, we're reaching a limit. We're reaching a limit here. So let me undo. Okay. Yes, so I'm pretty happy with this. I'm pretty happy with this selection here. Let's exclude the background. So erase background. There we go. And now we can just insert one of our, shots of Phantasma in the background here in order to composite this scene to make it so that he's not falling from space. And then we would be able to slap all these together in a webcomic, or in a video series or storyboard or anything like that. But we're not doing any of that today. We're just getting all of our materials so that we will eventually do that. We've done that plenty of times on previous streams. You've watched me build comics on previous streams. If this stream wasn't necessarily your style, come to the next one on next Friday. In fact,
I have something for that. Wait a second.
Oh, yeah?
Want to maybe show this? Yeah. I wanted to emphasize on what you just showed.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I really quickly did something. I took the 3 frames and I combined them with Pika. And what we get is a really neat animation because we built some keyframes. And if we go a little bit faster, I have another one here.
Yeah, and you're actually controlling the direction just like you would be with a storyboard using AI video with this intent. there's always going to be some element of wonkiness that, depending on the model and the video service you're using,
Right.
it can vary a lot. But for example, there's a lot going weird with the tree in this one. While with this one, it's a lot more like believable, at least in the perspective of it all. But it is something that I love. I love seeing that we're able to so quickly create like these inspirational video assets so that we can maybe even use frames from like I keep cutting myself off, but this is something really important, really important when it comes to this stuff in the future. Even if the result isn't 100%, there is a lot of valuable stuff inside of this by using each frame as an image prompt. So if you liked, say, like his ending scream here or whatever, or just like a mid panel or an in between two of these images, you can use that as an image prompt to create a high resolution version of it from Midjourney. So I love referencing using whatever materials we have, and this is AI video offers like literally 30 frames a second, 24 frames a second worth of reference material, way more referencing than we would ever have with just static images. So that's
And as Midjourney video is warming up, as we know from office hours, this is something to consider. So.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right. Well, we are about 5 minutes past at this point, so I'm going to close out the stream here. Thank you guys.
Let's just reiterate what you did today. Like we started with nothing, with some enemies that we wanted to fight. We picked one. We chose heroes, and we used the editor with some shopping. Like, we literally went shopping. We created our own shops. We selected the equipment, and we put together character design with a control that wasn't possible before. Like, you could do the same thing roughly with version 6 and Niji and Photoshop and edit all of these things together. But with OREFing in version 7 and these amazingly long prompts from version 7, we can just glue everything together in one image. And that gives us control that we didn't have before. And I want to inspire like all of you to experiment with this capability. I think it's even possible to do multiple frames in one reference image, or multiple characters even, and have them interact. Like, we can build these scenes. You can use your character. You can change its outfit like within 20 minutes. Like, changing clothes within your story is easily possible with that. You can add broken, like you can create your piece of armor and make it broken. You can just use the piece of armor and use it as an OREF and give it battle marks and battle scars, and then use your characters again with the broken armor. And all of this gives you continuity on like a timeline, and that's the thing that we can do with this. Also, we created one hero, and out of that one hero we created an army, and with that army we did things, and we had an enemy, and we brought all of these together. So there is a lot, there are a lot of dynamic possibilities we have with this. And what I would want you guys to do, because we're getting asked for homework every week now, is experiment with this, create outfits for characters for different occasions with this method, and B, if you have a really cool character, a really cool hero, I want you to explore dynamic fighting stances and positions. I'm going to post something else in VC text here again, another animation, which is pretty lit. That's from one of my pen and paper plays. That's Shizuna. You need to show it, Victor, because I think people on the stream cannot see it. But if you go to VC text, you can see it. It's just a battle stance, animated, like ready to fight, of her. And
such a badass video.
These. Your characters will need these. You will need impact frames. You will need like power-up scenes and images. And I want you guys to go in and make these. And I hope you learned something today.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. This is awesome. And like I've been while you've been talking here, I've been scrolling through the everything that we've made here today, and I barely got past the introduction of the villains before we kind of closed it out here. So there's going to be a lot of collecting stuff from that you guys made. I mean, we didn't even go over some of these reactions from this.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is wow.
this is great. It's just I love the reaction of the tree being like, wait, what? You know, just surprised by what's happening. Love that. The humor when you guys are able to nail the humor as well as the action, that's what sells it for me. I do want to also mention that I Troll for You. We got a couple. Like I Troll for You got a wonderful back view of Jordy here flying towards the trees. So this would make a great image prompt for us to remix and move things around as well. So yeah, we have all the materials necessary to make this joke land, even though he won't land. He'll end up head first inside one uh, of these towers here. I thank you guys so much. You guys have made me laugh. Have made me. This has been so worth it because of everybody who was watching here today. But thank you so much to Rhapsody for co-hosting, and so much more than co-hosting today. You really took over the show, and that was awesome. I've been dealing.
Wanted to save your voice.
Yeah, I've been dealing with Canadian fire smoke here, so I've been trying to limit how much I talk this week. So I really do appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much, and thank you, Rhapsody. Thank you to Kinky and Ancient for making this all happen. And I hope.
No. Thank you.
And I hope to see you guys over at the Gnarly Studio servers for the show after the show. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Join the show after the show.
Yeah. All right, guys. You all have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.